It's absurd how much I love Journey Spice. Journey Spice, non-GMO, no salt, no sugar, just all sorts of goodness and smart, environmentally friendly packaging. Pinch the top, take it off. Food tastes better. Comes in singles, 2-packs, and 4-packs. It's Journey Spice. Find them at Amazon.com. Time for Denver's best sports talk with the Altitude Daily.
This is the Altitude Daily Podcast. Everything you can't miss from today on Altitude Sports Radio. Mosher, Lombardi, and Kane.
The first commandment of being a Denver sports fan, thou must hate the Lakers. Pretty simple.
I agree.
Commandment number 2, thou must hate the Chiefs.
That's number 2. I like it.
The third commandment, thou must despise the Raiders and those costume-laden Raiders fans, especially those who inexplicably call themselves Denver natives.
That sounds like it came from God himself.
It's a very wordy, it's a wordy commandment.
That's
though.
it.
God
Very
got wordy there, but I tell you what, he ain't lying. Number 4 commandment, thou must not tolerate East Coast bias. It's the worst. I've grown up with it. I hate it. Number 5 commandment, remember the Sabbath, Broncos Sunday. I remember going to church at Holy Family during the 77 season. Father Wind back then, he would do the whole church. We'd be done in 26 minutes to get home for the 11 o'clock mass kickoff.
What was his first name? Father Break?
Number 6 commandment.
Hang on a
Father
second.
Break Wind?
Did you call it the 11 a.m. mass kickoff?
Yes, because it fell right during kickoff. I was an altar boy. He understood the relevance of that 11 a.m. kickoff. He was quick. Number 6 commandment, honor your father, John Elway or Nikola Jokic. Number 7, thou shalt not covet the stupid Cubs or the Stars or the Wild for that matter. Number 8, thou shalt not bear false witness of game 163. Holiday did touch the damn plate.
Wait, can you put a curse word in a commandment?
I just did.
Okay.
These are my commandments.
All right, gotcha.
Number 9.
But Vic, he really didn't touch the
Shut
plate.
up. Shut up. Number 9, thou shalt not steal, like the New York Rangers tried to steal Sakic in 97.
It's a good one.
And number 10, the 8:30 tip-off or face-off serves as our penance for committing sin.
All right.
You know, and all Vic's people said, Amen. I like it. I think it's
I'm
good.
down with that.
I
Yeah,
think it's a
I'm
really
down
good
with
one.
that.
I like all 10. I like all 10 there.
And I'm telling you right now, if any of these commandments, you have a problem with any of these, then consider yourself, you're not a Denver sports fan. And I say Denver. I say Colorado, okay? Denver, Colorado. If you disagree with any of these, you're not a Denver sports fan. You're a fake.
The Altitude Daily. The Morning Sprint.
It feels like the Colorado Avalanche this season is like, hey, man, either we win the Stanley Cup or it was a failure of a season. When you have those kind of expectations as a head coach, I mean, how do you even address that going into the season? Or you don't. You just like, I know what the expectations are. They know what the expectations are. We got to prove it.
Yeah, you got to prove it. The last 2 exits from the postseason were, disturbing. I would say for a team that has as much talent as it did, shoot, 3 years in a row, really. And I would say last year it felt like there was the letdown against the Stars. It was massive, man. And seeing Peter DeBoer outboring, your style of hockey and it showing that he had your number, although he ended up getting fired.
Yeah.
Jared Bednar's got this is a big year. It's a big year. I've been there. I've been there in years where you go into a year and you say it's a big year. What I would say, and I think Jared Bednar has the right mentality and mindset. Just keep the main thing, and just keep surging forward. We heard Connor McGay here earlier talking about, this is a Hall of Fame type career for Jared Bednar. Well, guess what? For you to solidify that, you win a title this year, you're a Hall of Famer in the NHL. Mm-hmm. You're a hockey Hall of Famer.
Yeah. The NHL seems to blame coach. Well, they don't even blame coaches. They almost treat head coaching as like a position that you're like, oh man, we're in a losing streak. Let's change the head coach and change the vibes. And it's like, man, you'd never do that in any other sport. But in the NHL, that spot, like just the the length of time that Jared Bednar has been there, I think, says something about him as a coach, because they are just like NFL football players, disposable by design. NHL head coaches, disposable by design. You don't like the way the season's going. You don't like the way your players are playing. It's not your head coach's fault, but he's the one who's getting fired. It's a tough business. I don't know if you've heard, Coach.
Yeah, it's
this
interesting.
coaching thing is not easy.
Yeah, I mean, I've been fired myself 3 times, but it's interesting that you would think for how disposable NHL coaches have appeared to be over the last several years, you just like, oh, they just fired their coach. Oh, they just fired their coach.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they just fired their coach. Mid-season, like bad streak. It's not like these coaches are I mean, they're well compensated.
The Altitude Daily. Columbus, Hastings, and DMAC.
Kurt, I don't know if you've had time yet. I know you will before the game, but to watch the Broncos-Phillies game. And I am really curious to get your thoughts on it from a quarterback perspective. When you've got a guy who struggles relatively big time for 3 straight quarters, but then comes out in the fourth quarter and is lights out, what does that mean to you? I mean, does it give you anything in the bigger picture in terms of confidence in a guy? Is that a good game or not?
Well, I mean, I think the bottom line is, having played the game as much as I did and have, watching the game and analyzing the game, it doesn't matter how good you are. You're going to have, moments. You're going to have games. You're going to have halves where you're not good, where you don't play your best, where you're not feeling it and you're not seeing it and those things. And when you have those games, the best thing is when you can find ways to win anyways. And so, when you have a quarterback that, like you said, can struggle or not do anything for a couple quarters, but they can find a way, and especially, in that game against a really good team, find a way to get a win in a tough environment. It does give you confidence because, most guys, in this league, that if they don't play a good game, you're not going to win. But if you've got a guy that can, figure that out, make a few of the plays, make the critical plays that you need to win a football game, I think it just elevates the confidence that you have in that guy to know he's going to find a way to get it done. Some games he's going to be great. Some games he's not going to be as good, but he's still going to be a guy that can make enough plays to give us a chance to win in those moments. And I think that's the kind of guy you want because that guy's not going to play 17 great games. It's just not going to happen. Doesn't matter who you are. It's not going to happen. So in the games you don't play your best, what are you able to do from a leadership standpoint? What are you able to do from a playmaking standpoint to give our team a chance?
Hey, talk to us from the quarterback position in particular. And listen, it's always been an important position, maybe the most on the team. But it seems like now, if you don't have a good quarterback, your chances of winning on any Sunday is limited. That being said, when you're in one of those games where you just, man, I just feel like I'm late on my decisions, or I'm late on what I'm seeing, or I'm not seeing. How did you kind of talk yourself back into the confidence mode that you need to go forward?
Yeah, I mean, I'm different than a lot of guys that play now because I think the fallback for a lot of these guys now is if I'm not seeing it, I'm going to just take off and create. I'm going to run. I'm going to get in, outside the pocket where I don't have to play in structure and I can play more backyard football. And whether that's running or whether that's making a throw on the run because I'm getting out there and I don't have to see a defense. I'm just looking to see, is that guy open? Can I throw it to him? And so I think a lot of the guys fall back now is that. I'm sure it's a catch-22 because you get used to doing that. And then when you actually should play in structure, when you need to play in structure, you're not as comfortable with it. For me, I was a guy that had to play in structure. I couldn't do that creating stuff. And so for me, it was always going back to the basics, is that I knew how to play the game. I knew how to see the field. And there were times where it wasn't as clear or the game seemed to be moving faster. But I would always tell myself, trust your eyes. The one thing I did was process information. Trust your eyes. Get back to the basics. When this guy's your read, focus in on that guy, and so that would help to kind of slow it down and allow me to, again, I'll just say, muddle through some of those games where I wasn't seeing it as clearly. I could still get back to the basics for me, and those were the things that would carry me and give me a chance in those moments.
The Altitude Daily. Kretman and Lindahl.
let's talk a little bit about this Broncos pass rush and what they did to Jalen Hurts, okay? So Zach Allen, team-high 5 pressures. Benito had 4 and 2.5 sacks. So as of right now, Benito leads the NFL total pressures, 31. Quick pressures, 15. That's judged within 2.5 seconds. And he has 7 sacks on the year, which leads the entire NFL. Listen to this. The Broncos blitzed Jalen Hurts on a third of his dropbacks, and yet Hurts completed 13 of his 14 attempts, 93% against the blitz for 137 and 2 tutties. That's when he was going up against man, and he kind of had his way with the Broncos. When the Broncos dropped back and played him zone, he was completely pedestrian, all right? This is the best pass rush in the NFL. Like, all of their sacks came in zone coverage the other day. Tack onto that, Justin Fields currently is seeing more pressure than any other quarterback in the NFL. Any other quarterback in the NFL. And that's against, again, the teams that have been on his schedule so far. He hadn't seen Denver yet. I mean, hell, he was, think of last week, okay? He was playing the Cowboys last week. They have no pass rush, and yet they consistently were getting there. Plus, Fields is throwing over 3 seconds basically every time that he's dropping back. This game plan is easy this week, okay? It really is. Nobody has less to do in London this week than Vance Joseph. Just sit back, zone him up, make him go through his progressions, rush 4, and beat him by 30. It's that simple, Andy. That's your Sunday morning right there. Put a spy on him, okay? Hey, have it be Alex Singleton. Then he doesn't have to worry about coverage. Boom. You're in great shape right there, and the Broncos will dominate Justin Fields and the Jets. This one's cake. This game has no threat to offer you unless the Broncos get stupid.
And see, now I feel like you've added the threat. When you talk this succinctly and surely about a win, I always end up dog cussing you in my mind.
You've been listening to the Altitude Daily. Catch us live weekdays on 92.5 FM, the Altitude Sports Radio app, twitch.tv/AltitudeSR, youtube.com @Altitude Sports Radio, and your favorite smart speaker. Say Altitude Sports Radio.